In one of my videos, I was talking about how the iPad Pro is not the laptop replacement yet, but I wasn't owning an iPad Pro and I still don't own an iPad Pro. Luckily, my brother has let me review one, so how does it hold up as a laptop replacement? Let's find out.
Like always, Apple is killing it with the design, with its minimalist aesthetic with just a camera, smart connector, iPad logo and iPad text on the back, and it just looks truly elegant, especially in the space gray. On the bottom there are two pleasant surprises: a pair of excellent stereo speakers and a USB Type-C, which you can use for flash drives and SSDs, which is super nice. On the side you're gonna find two volume buttons which are tactile enough and pleasant to use. And on the top you're gonna find the second pair of stereo speakers and a power button. On the front you will be welcomed by 12.9 inch 2732 by 2048 IPS 120Hz screen, and the screen is honestly the best part of this iPad. To be quite frank with you, this iPad has provided me the best cinematic experience I could have imagined. 812Z CPU and 6 gigs of RAM allow this tablet to score pretty high in Antutu benchmark, scoring about 700,000 points, which is impressive in my opinion. So it should be no surprise that games run quite flawlessly, but sadly they cannot really take advantage of that 120Hz display, which is a shame. The dual lens 12 megapixel camera is absolutely overkill for this tablet, but at least the pictures are absolutely fabulous. And this is a 4K video from this tablet. It looks quite decent in my opinion. Much more interesting thing about iPad's camera is the usage of a LiDAR sensor that you can use for AR games or AR apps in general. Also, the 7 megapixel selfie camera looks very decent for a tablet in my opinion.
And this is the footage from a selfie camera. As you can see, it's pretty decent and it will probably become handy in this era of Zoom calls or whatever service you are using for like video calls and stuff like that. So as a tablet, it is clearly a cutting-edge device, but how does it hold up as a laptop itself?
The Magic Keyboard with the trackpad and backlighting is kinda a bummer and a blessing at the same time. It makes iPad more viable, but sadly you can only open it to 135 degrees, which is not that great to be honest. The inclusion of the USB Type-C on the keyboard is nice, but sadly you can only use it for charging the keyboard and the iPad itself, not for flash drives, which is something that I don't understand. The typing experience on this keyboard is surprisingly great, because it is based on Apple scissor switch keyboard, which is something that I really like, but sadly there are no function keys, which is not that great for productivity. One big disappointment about keyboards in general in iOS is that you cannot use them for games, and that is kind of sad. On the other hand, the new and improved Apple Pencil is pretty much flawless. I like its ergonomics and the way it charges. Sadly my drawing skills are like non-existent, but if you are like designer, it is the right thing for you.
So what do I think about the iPad Pro? Well, if you can draw or do some really cool stuff with photos, it is probably worth it, since it can give you much better interaction with your drawings and photos. But when it comes to video editing
and audio editing, I'm still not convinced that this is a laptop replacement. If Apple wants to make iPad Pro more viable as a video editing and audio editing machine, they really need to bring the Logic and Final Cut to the platform. But as of right now, it is not simply for me. But if you can live with LumaFusion and stuff like that, I can recommend it. So that's it. Hope you like this video. Leave a thumbs up, consider subscribing in order to help me grow. And for now, bye.